2 years ago, we dug a really big hole in this field. It was the start of a dream to build a natural swimming pool for us to enjoy, but also to act as an emergency water store for our farm here in Northern Portugal. We've had water trouble on the farm when we ran out of water last summer, so if this is what we think it is, we could be in with a winner. After a lot of ups and downs on probably our most challenging project to date, I personally feel overwhelmed by this project. We're starting to work towards the vision we had all those years ago. It's finally time to work on turning what currently looks like a plastic bag full of water into something that looks like it belongs. A beautiful space that is a haven for us and the wildlife around us. The vision is big, and the amount of work to get there even bigger. So, we'd best be getting on with it.
Okay team, we are off to the biopool. The focus is starting to come back around to that area at the moment, mostly because we've got the delay on the stones over on the house. If the stones were there, we'd be working on it, but you know, we've got to do things in the order that things arrive on the farm. And here we are, the biopool. I think it looks blooming lovely down here.
Yeah, so it's been a while since we've been down here. We kind of filled it up and then we changed direction. But yeah, things need to be done, don't they? So what's your plan, love? I don't really understand what you're doing.
Okay, so the plastic, I don't want to see any plastic anywhere.
Okay.
And it's starting to be springtime, and what that basically means is that the mud is starting to turn green, which is really great. We've got little sprouts of grass and plants coming up. Whilst the plastic is on top of the mud, of course the plants aren't going to grow there, so now is really the right time to start fixing that as a problem. I started digging in some of the plastic here into the soil, and then we'll be putting the gravel up along here and filling that up. I need a tractor to come in and help me out and lift some of the stones into place here, and we also want to be putting a pier into place too. So we've got a couple of options today. We can start looking at building a pier, or we can start looking at getting rid of some of that plastic. The pier, obviously, because it's made out of wood, is a lot more appealing for me to be doing. But really we want to be looking at that plastic. So I'm going to take my shoes and socks off and I'm going to get in and I'm going to have a look, certainly at cutting back there. And we'll see how we get along. Lots to do. Okay, let me go and get a knife and then we can start thinking about it. I'm going to get in the water.
On days like today, you can really get a sense of how lovely it's going to be down here in the summer. You know, the birds are singing and the reflection on the water, and it's all so peaceful. And it does get flipping hot here in the summer, so to have a place that we can come and swim on the farm is going to be amazing. But also just the reassurance of knowing that we've got this water stored, and we hopefully won't have a situation like we've had in the past where we've run out of water towards the end of the summer. That was the whole point of building this pool, and well, that's kind of, that box is ticked, you know. Now we've just got to finish off this slightly more complex bit, which is the plants, the gravel, the filtration, the bubble pumps, etc. And that is going to be a bit fiddly. So I'm definitely standing here feeling like I often have, standing on the side of this hole in the ground, a little bit overwhelmed. But let's see, one step at a time.
We could do this tomorrow or the next day, but it's going to be rainy and cold tomorrow and the next day, so I'd rather not be getting too wet. Look, you can see here, we got a whole bunch of plants and grass growing. I really want that to be, and it will grow super quick now. You know, next week it'll be an inch tall everywhere. So we just want to make sure we use that as much as possible.
Well, how long is it before Obi's in with you?
Yeah. Well, he looks delighted, doesn't he? He's well up for it already. Okay, so we put this felt down first, just to give the plastic liner a little bit of support. You know, when we do stuff like this, I don't actually really know what I'm doing. I'm just making it up as I go along and hoping that it's the right thing. I'm pretty sure it is, but oh, it's cold water, eh? How deep, look how deep that is. So what we basically want is a rock that's that high to start off with. Okay, let's go. Okay, I think it's going to be a fairly slow old process, isn't it? That's it. That's the reason why we're getting rid of the plastic now, is so that we can look after this bank and we can let plants grow up through it. So let's get some more rocks in there. Let's get some gravel down in this corner.
Okay.
And let's start making it feel a little bit more like it belongs.
Right, I'm heading up a level to the veggie garden to go and get a wheelbarrow and a spade so that we can start getting some gravel across into that corner and weigh down that plastic. I'd say put it in my wheelbarrow, but my wheelbarrow's full. Well done.
There we go. Okay, go. Yeah. That's great. Well done.
Right, off for the next load. Beep, beep.
Okay, do you want to roll the wheelbarrow on top of it?
Yeah.
There we go.
Right. Ready?
Yep. Well done, that's great, that's really great.
It's nice to actually feel useful for a change.
You got it?
Maybe. Not really.
Okay, got it. Let me do it. You good? There's good. There's good.
So it's going to fall in the pool, isn't it?
Do what?
Well, I thought it was going to fall in the pool.
Okay.
Tell you what, Arnold eat your heart out.
Thank you, my darling, that's kind. Great.
Oh, nice work, love. That's a very full wheelbarrow.
Yeah. You know what? Actually, I think if you pick that up, because it's very heavy, this one.
Okay.
You just pick up the drain and I can zip it under.
Zip it under.
Super quickly.
Alrighty.
Fingers crossed we don't get too wet.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Hang on. Nice. I tell you what, guys, having filmed these videos recently and then being editing them, I've kind of sat there going, oh, I just can't wait for colour to come back. But spring is just around the corner. Everything is budding. There's blossoms on the trees.
True.
So soon, the world is going to burst into colour. Oh, lovely, darling. That's cleared up so nicely, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be so pretty. I'm excited.
All right. There we go.
Nice work.
There. Oh, what have we got?
What is it?
A green salamander.
Oh, I think that's called a fire newt.
We got
No,
a fire.
It's called a marbled newt. That's what it's called. Where is it?
Just down there.
Yeah, hello, little guy.
You know what's so cool about that? You look at this water, right? And you look at it and you go, oh, it's mucky, it's dirty, and it's not going to be a great biopool. I look at this water and I see newts and salamanders and frogs loving it.
Yeah, it's true.
And I think that is a real win. That's real
true.
purpose, real success in my view. And I love it. That's it. All right, here we go.
You got it?
Yeah.
Job well done, love.
I think, eh?
Yeah.
Great. Let's call it.
Nice work.
Thank you, darling.
And a good day for it.
Yeah, thanks for your help.
No worries.
Morning, my darling. Just getting dressed. All right, let's go, folks. So Tara's been working really hard on our veggie garden. I know, also very inspired by it at the moment. We're starting to get some grass and some plants growing through the mud and quagmire that was up here earlier. Plum trees have got some nice blossoms on them already. Getting excited about that. Trees are starting to get some leaves on them. And here we go. It has been a little while since we've been down on the biopool just because of the amount of rain. You can see all of the grass seed that I threw down there. That's starting to come good too. We've got some pipes laid out here also. Okay, there's the box. So the plan today is to try and get the water coming out of the wall right there that comes from our spring down under the ground so we don't have any of this in front of us, and then dropping into the biopool so there's a nice little tinkle tinkle kind of sound of water going into the pool. So that's basically going to involve digging a big hole all the way around here and around there, and then hopefully at the end of the day we won't see any of this and it'll be ready for planting, and we'll be totally ready to start looking at really evolving this biopool, kind of pond biopool, and getting it to a stage where we can start planting, which I hope is really soon. So what we want here is for the pipe to come out of the wall, straight down, under the ground, and along here, and drop out over there. Ideally, we want to get some plants in this biopool as quickly as possible as well, because they're starting to get some green algae in there, and that's not very good. I'm not sure, because of the springs that are feeding this biopool, whether we're ever going to be actually able to have it crystal clear and clean, and I kind of tried to talk to Tara about the realities of that, being underneath big trees and what have you that are going to be dropping their leaves quite regularly. It's going to be difficult to keep it clean, but one of the things we can do here is make sure that it looks really beautiful, that it's clean enough, that it feeds or it waters all the plants on the farm, and that when we come down here it's just a jolly nice place to be. For example, I'm going to have the water pipe coming out a little bit higher so that we can hear a splash. If you listen, we want more of that kind of water movement sound. As we all know, really great spaces are more than just visual things. You know, there's smells like that jasmine that we've got growing down near that big tree, and there's also sounds as well. Hello, buddy. I'm bending it. Don't come too close now because it's hot. Hey, Crusoe.
How are you doing, love?
Yeah, good. Can you hold that just like that?
Sure.
Crusoe, can you try and pull the end of that pipe and pull it that way for me? Hang on.
Gently.
Wait.
Gently. That's it. Well done. Careful, Sawyer. It's hot.
Okay, go stand at Crusoe's end for me, can you? Crusoe, just start pulling that. Whoa. Gently does it.
What's up, bud? Good work, boys.
You're welcome, Mum.
Well done. Thank you.
And we need that one.
Yeah, let's get that one ready to go.
Mum.
Wow! All by yourself. You're very strong.
Well done, Sawyer. You're going to have to dig deep here and not so deep there.
Well, that's a fresh egg, isn't it? And that one? That's from yesterday, I think. Wow. Sawyer, stop picking the strawberries, buddy. They're not ready. Stop it. Welcome back up to the veggie garden. And, well, things have moved along up here. We did so much work yesterday, Joao and I. And I'm afraid all I filmed of it was a time lapse. Because actually, you know, sometimes it's just so nice to just do stuff without filming it. Because the filming takes a whole lot of thinking and planning and plotting and moving of shots and repeating things so that you get the shots. So yesterday I indulged a little bit in just creating without having to think too much about filming too. And it's looking amazing. So let me show you what we did. So, ta-da! This is what we've got. I'm so excited about it, I can't even tell you. So this is the first bed that John built. I think, no, there's the first bed that John built. Sorry, I'm trying to remember the order. But this is the first bed that John built, and we put some calendula in here, and the plan is to then put some carrots and stagger some other really nice... And watermelons. Stagger some really nice other... And strawberries. Stagger loads of companion plants in there. Same for there. I haven't got anything in that yet. I started out yesterday with some beetroot seeds and some borage in this one. And we've got some lavender down this end. Joao built this, isn't it beautiful, out of the branches from the oak tree that got cut down to make way for the house. So we're literally using every single piece of it. And he also built this one. This was at the end of the day, which we still need to line and fill. So that's kind of a work in progress. I might do that today. I've lined the edge of the veggie garden with old branches, and we're just going to let this go wild and put some fruit trees in here. Because it's just really hard to maintain with the grass. And then I built these little beds out of stones.
Mama, Daddy wanted to pick a strawberry.
Okay, I'll tell it. I'll get them now. Anyway, so we just did these. I dug out the inside of them. We filled it with a nice big fat layer of compost, and put a layer of topsoil on the top of it. And I think these are going to be home for things like courgettes, patty pans, sunflowers, and in there we've put a persimmon tree. So it's all coming together, and isn't it looking so beautiful? Let me back up a bit so that you can appreciate where we've got to. Honestly, it's like my vegetable garden of dreams, and I'm so happy. Excuse that travesty in the background. That needs to come down. So over the next few weeks, we're going to carry on tinkering away up here, moving the wood chips up, getting everything kind of in place. I think we're going to build 1 or 2 more raised beds, and then we're just going to do tomatoes and cucumbers in lines with trellises, because we want lots and lots of cucumbers and lots of tomatoes. But I'm also going to put archways between these 2 beds. How do I do this? There and there, so that there'll be an arch for either beans or for cucumbers to grow over. And I'm going to put some little teepees up as well for beans out of bamboo. And it's just going to be such a beautiful space. You know what I loved about yesterday was coming up here and not really having too much of a plan, and being a bit like John and just letting the plan evolve as we built. You know, we just started laying the stones and putting the wood chip, and as Joao and I were here all day, it just slowly created this space, and I couldn't have envisaged it when I started, but it's exactly how I wanted it to be, if you know what I mean. So really, really pleased with it. Really, really pleased and excited to get things in. So I think in about 2 weeks' time, we'll probably start buying the seedlings. End of March is a really good time to start getting stuff in the ground. So we will, get busy. Get busy with it. Cannot wait.
Oh boy. This ground is so hard and so compact. There's really been a big job today, and in amongst it all, I'm pulling up, what's that everybody? What is it? The dreaded bamboo. Keeps on giving. I said before, didn't I, that before we bought this farm, back in the olden days, all the local farmers used to come to this place here and get their bamboo for their canes to grow the tomatoes and beans up the side of. Of course, when we came along, they had to find somewhere else to go and get it. Whenever we've got stuff lying around, we do try to sort of, I don't want to say share it out, but there's definitely a community, a farmers community sense around here. Although we don't really have a farm, it's more of just a little homestead. The reason why we call it a farm, just in case you're new around here, is because that's what it was called. It's always been called a farm. The Portuguese name calls it a farm, so Quinta. So we just carried on the name, even though we're not really farming very much here. But anyway, yeah. For example, just over there, we've got a really beautiful cherry tree. Apparently, it's got the best cherries on the entire side of the mountain, but it's starting to get old and it's starting to die off now because it's very old. But again, when we didn't live here, before we lived here, some of the local people would pop in and just help themselves, and why not help themselves, but just come and harvest some of the fruits, because there were a few fruit trees around. They come and help themselves to bits and pieces that were lying around. So everybody knows all the trees here, especially our closest neighbours. Yeah, Joel's dad yesterday came and took a couple of cuttings from that cherry tree. His ambition is to try and take those cuttings and grow a couple more because the plums are so good from it. I think that's brilliant. You know, actually, it's the same with flowers, isn't it? If you've got a lovely flower garden, what you really, you know, there's this community in flowers, this sort of giving community. Come and take some cuttings from my garden. I'll take some from yours. We can see whether we can grow each other's flowers in each other's gardens. I love it. Oh, what I don't love though is digging holes in soil that's rock. That's hard work. Oh my boy, I've got a very important job for you. Can you run and ask Mummy to get me some fairy liquid, some washing up liquid?
Okay.
Thank you, buddy. That's so cool. Love you. Washing up liquid from the sink, okay? Thank you, Sawyer. 2 years old, that boy. I just said I'm welcome. You're welcome. 2 years old. Come on. That went together nicely. Okay, you keep watching and you tell me if anything comes out. That's heavy there. Is it coming?
It's like watching John film an ad.
Yeah. So yesterday when the stone was dropped off, I was super pumped for John and Tara because I know there's been a struggle with getting the right color of stone. And the interesting thing is that the earthy, rusty